Where is Utah headed? There's a lot of different infrastructures that are changing between the communities, the infrastructures, the population, the housing costs. We're going to go over all of that in this video today. Hi, my name is Jenny. If you're new to my channel, and I am a real estate agent here in the Salt Lake, Utah County, better half of Utah area and the northern areas. And I want to be the person to help guide you through this process of where you should be moving to Utah. Because a lot of people are being attracted to Utah, and it is the #1 most desired state for the third time in a row to be able to live in the United States. So click that subscribe button and that link down there below and the bell for the notifications, because I do make a video every single week. But until then, you guys, let's jump into this video and talk about where is Utah headed. One thing to consider is understanding the demographics of the culture here in Utah. It is shifting. There used to be a high predominance of Mormon Christianity. Over 50% of the population used to be Mormon. Now we're no longer seeing that. It's less than 50% of people who are in the Mormon church living in Utah. What that means is the demographics of viewpoints are changing. There are pros and cons to that. Your high mainstream Christianity has actually helped us with the infrastructures with our families and the low crimes. I have clients that fly in from Utah. We'll walk around. I'll show them the different infrastructures of what city they want to live in, what schools might be best. And a lot of what I'm hearing from my clients is that Utah is so safe and such low crime that when they walk into our grocery stores, they are shocked how clean our state is. Utah is a very clean state, and they do a very good job at making sure that it is an environment that's welcoming for kids to be able to just go to the grocery store, to not have to worry about getting mugged on the side of the road. In fact, the only crime I can think of that we really get upset about is our porch, what do they call those? Porch pirates. Well, they'll steal our packages off our front porch. There's also a really close knit though with the Ring camera, and the majority of your communities are going to have that close knit of like, hey, watch out for this. There's someone over here trying to get in cars. There's someone over here stealing packages. Very, very minor crime. If you want to know more about the crime, I've also made a video up there. I think it's like over here, right? Over here. Over here is the link up there to be able to see more of that low crime here in Utah. Now there's pockets of crime that you have to watch out for. So if I were to throw out some of the high crime cities, I'd say West Valley City in Salt Lake County. I would definitely say Logan has some hot pockets of crime, and Utah County is doing pretty well. Utah County has some religious-based schools, a high predominance of Christianity. That's what keeps that low crime down. And so seeing that shift is changing, I'm hoping that we can still keep that crime low because we still are a family-oriented city. It is also shifting politically. We're starting to see more of different viewpoints. A very conservative state, very red state, but right now we're starting to be challenged in our viewpoints of how people want to live with their sexuality, how people want to live with their viewpoints of how they want to live their lives. You're still seeing a close knit though of farmers markets and being able to connect and bond. A lot of homeschoolers are happening in Utah, still getting benefits through the state with those kind of things. So we're starting to see a larger diversity of a melting pot coming here to Utah, and that's only expected to continue to grow as we attract more people from states like Texas and California. And now I'm hearing more of a Colorado because I've heard Colorado's crime is going up. We're starting to attract more of these people who want the outside life, who want access to the mountains, who want to hit the slopes in the winter time, but want the safety and security of their children. The environment that Utah is creating is what most of the United States is looking for. Family-oriented, open to different political beliefs, with a lifestyle that connects us to Mother Earth, that gives us the opportunity to go to our markets and gather out the neighbors' tomatoes that they've been growing, but still gives us that infrastructure of stability in businesses. We have a lot of businesses that have come into Utah because the mayor has actually given an opportunity for tax options. So you've got like Adobe, you've got Oracle over here, you've got high predominant programming and iTech companies here in Utah County in what we call the Lehi Silicon Slopes. It is still an infrastructure of entrepreneurship in here. Crumble Cookie was a founder over here. Dirty Dough. We've got bigger companies that are not in the tech area, but are still in this area of, distribution. We have a lot of distribution buildings being built where people are putting their products in these buildings, where we're seeing a change where people are now working from home. Your tech people can work from home now. So I'm having clients who need to have that space where they can work and then have the access to run away on the weekends, to get to the canyon, to go biking, to go hiking, to go fishing, to go kayaking, to get the wieners on the stick and to go and do the fire pit, to be able to explore the different lakes on the high mountain rises, to find where the best fish are at, to hike to a lake that's going to give you the best fish. Utah loves their lakes. They're definitely like to consider it more of like a beachfront. I would not consider our lakes like beachfront. They're muggy. They have some issues. We have some algae, so you got to be careful where you go. But I just got back from camping from Payson Lakes to be able to enjoy the weekend where you get away from the heat. And it's a dry heat here. So again, where am I going with this? What am I trying to say is that it makes sense to me why people are moving here in Utah. See, I'm tripping over my words. I'm just human. First of all, one thing you should know about me is I am not a prim-pressed person. I love that I can try to articulate my words, but I'm going to skip over my words quite a few times because I'm natural. I'm a human, and this is just who I am. I'm also a working business mom, and I am here to supply your knowledge. No, I am here to supply my knowledge and my experience of 10 years in real estate. I've worked through investment opportunities. I've helped people buy multiple complexes. I've helped the first-time home buyer. I've helped the retiree. I've helped everybody to buy a second home, sell a second home. I've kind of done all of it. And so I definitely want to be here to be your expert in walking through this process. Utah has a lot of things on the docket of what's going to be going on. We have the Olympics coming. We have high infrastructures coming in. We have a housing shortage supply. Our cost of living is on the rise. We're having changes of religion viewpoints and politics changing. So there's a lot of things happening here in Utah, and I kind of want to zero in on those. But let's first start off with the population. The population increase is one of the reasons why you're at this video. You're seeing Utah as a desired state to be living in, and you're wanting to see the pros and cons of why people live in Utah. I have a video on that goes through all the different pros and cons, living in all the different seasons and all the different things you could do and the type of cities you want to live in. So I have that video and that link above there. In this one, we're going to be talking about what does it mean to have a population increase in here. Our infrastructures of our roads are starting to change. Utah is known for having a lot of construction, and especially in the summertime, because we're constantly growing. We're trying to continue to create an infrastructure. Salt Lake City in itself has a massive infrastructure of what's called the grid system. From when the earlier settlers of Utah came in, they made a grid system of having a very easy map. Orem and Provo are very similar that way, so it's actually pretty easy to find your location here. In fact, I'm one of those people that if I don't have mountains around me, I don't know where I'm at. The mountains itself is definitely a demographic of where you are between the north and the south. The I-15 runs right through Utah. You've got the Wasatch Mountains that are right on the east side of the I-15, and then you've got the Wasatch, which is where Park City is at. Park City in itself is changing. The demographics are growing so much over there because it's attracting a certain demographic, to people who love the lifestyle of skiing, who love the lifestyle of high dining and good food and small community vibes over there in that Wasatch area. Then you come over here to the Salt Lake area, it's still attracting more people with the populations because of the family lifestyle, because the parks and recreations that we have in here. You have access to the canyons within a matter of an hour of pretty much wherever you live here in Utah. The easiest of the transit systems. Now there are pros and cons to that. The population increase is causing for less land opportunities. So we're now seeing more of high-rise buildings go up because the cost of living. We have what's called supply and demand issue, where we have more people who want to live in homes and own homes than we have supply for. So it's causing a lot of construction. So if you're in the construction business, if you're in that infrastructure business, Utah might be a really great place to be, because we're actually lacking in a lot of our construction workers because of the high influx of people who want to get in homes. Now, the type of homes are definitely changing because the affordability has changed. So no longer are you going to get an average of 2,500 square foot house on a fourth of an acre of lot or more. Now you're looking more of a high rise, where you're looking at a townhouse that's got 3 levels. It might not have a backyard, or you might be living in a condo or you've got stacked up in the condo. These things are changing because the population is coming in and the affordability is only on the rise. What this means for infrastructures for schools, we're starting to see a district just got divided. Alpine School District just got divided. We're having to create a new district because it's gotten so large. You've got many different school districts that are expanding where the government has having to continue to build new schools. We just had a new school built here in my hometown area, which is 2 years old, and now they've already got trailers because of the high influx of population of children. It's only continuing to grow because we're attracting families. Not only that, the religion base of Christianity teaches them to actually create more families, to have more kids, to have large families for the infrastructures of their Christianity beliefs and saving those souls. So what that means is we have large families. So we're not having the average family of just 2 kids. You've got 4, 5, 6, 7 kids in a family, which creates a high demand in these public schools as well. So population is definitely on the rise of changing with the infrastructures of our roads, the infrastructures of the job opportunities. We're doing a really good job in Utah, though, in balancing out the job opportunities with the family support of the school systems, with the outside lifestyle of the parks and the recreation. Maybe the roads and the transit system is something that needs to pick up on that one. But with the Olympics coming in, we're going to have a larger budget to be able to increase the infrastructures on our roads for that one. With all of the desirability of Utah and what it offers, it's only creating the affordability to go up. The cost of living is going up in Utah, and that is a massive change happening here. Just back in 2018, your average home cost around $350,000, and that was for like a 3,200 square foot single family home on some good land. Now the average price in Utah County is pushing $550, upwards of $600. We're hoping that that balances out when interest rates start to come down, when sellers realize they can't get the whole world from their house. The shift has started to happen where buyers are starting to see that concessions of asking from the sellers is happening. Builders are being very competitive with their concessions right now, offering $10,000 towards concessions, offering competitive interest rates if you use their preferred lender. And existing home sellers know this. So it is becoming more of a buyer's. The prices are starting to come down. The interest rates were starting to flatline. They're still pretty high due to what's going on in the, in the political stance of the infrastructure of the United States. But we are starting to see a smaller gap of those who can afford the average price home of $550. So we are starting to see high rise comes up. The townhouses are coming in. I just walked through a townhouse the other day with my client that is $350 for a townhouse. Now she's on the smaller end, but she had a basement. She had 3 bedrooms. It is a 1-car garage, gives you an HOA about $100. That is probably the lowest price that I have seen for a townhouse. Now that was more expensive than I bought my first single family home for in 2018. So just with a matter of small amount of time, living in your home in Utah provides an opportunity for massive amounts of equity to be able to grow that equity over and over again. The average growth of Utah's equity is between 2 to 6% on an annual growth of your equity and growth. And we're only on the uprise. We haven't gone backwards since 2008, and the infrastructure is in place to only continue to move forward based on all the factors that we're talking about in this video. If what we've talked about creates a desire for you to come and visit Utah, reach out to me. I would love to be that person to guide you through, to tell you where to hang out, to tell you where you might want to live due to schools, to tell you where to go demographically based on your budget and what you can afford, based on where you need to work. I would love to be that person to guide you through Utah and experience the beauty of the mountain ranges and to understand the school systems here and to know which libraries you can visit or where the splash pads are at for your kids or knowing where the job opportunities are at for you. I would love to be that person. There's actually a link down there below. If it doesn't work, make sure you just text me or reach me out to me on Instagram. I'm on there every single day. I would love to be that person that you visit Utah with and knowing if Utah is the space for you guys. And until then, I'll see you guys in my next video.